The Exorcist is one of the most famous horror movies of all time. It was a major blockbuster. It spawned sequels, it spawned imitators, and it spawned about 1,000 YouTube videos detailing all of the misery and suffering that was endured by the people who made it in the years following its release. But did you know The Exorcist has an evil twin? Another possession horror movie made at very nearly the same time, written for the same actress, and having a curse that is pretty much The Exorcist's equal. Let me introduce you to The Possession of Joel Delaney, made in 1972, starring Shirley MacLaine. Shirley MacLaine was close friends with William Peter Blatty, the guy who wrote the novel The Exorcist is based on. And while William Peter Blatty was writing The Exorcist, he was the whole time picturing Shirley MacLaine as the leading character. That's why the leading character in The Exorcist is named Chris MacNeil. That's his version of Shirley MacLaine. That's why she's a red-headed actress who has a teenage daughter. And at the time, Shirley MacLaine had a teenage daughter. William Peter Blatty always expected that Shirley MacLaine would play Chris MacNeil if ever a movie was made of The Exorcist. And when the book became a huge bestseller, it was obvious that a movie would be made. However, at the time, Shirley MacLaine was developing and starring in her own possession horror movie. What are the chances? So she turned it down. Some people say that William Friedkin, the director, wouldn't consider her. But either way, she didn't play the part that was written for her. What she was making instead was The Possession of Joel Delaney. If you've never heard of this movie, if you've never seen it, and few people have, let me give you a quick rundown of the plot. Shirley MacLaine plays Nora Benson, a wealthy woman living in Manhattan with her 2 children, and everything is great. Her brother arrives after an extended stay in Tangier, and he is behaving rather strangely. She gets a call to go out to his apartment, and she discovers that he is being arrested rather violently after attempting to attack and kill the superintendent of his apartment building. The police take him to Bellevue, the mental ward. Nora advises him to tell everybody that he had taken hallucinogenic drugs, and that's why he was behaving this way. He wasn't, but the police let him out, provided that he see a psychiatrist on a regular basis. Because, folks, this is 1972, and Joel is rich and white and a guy. And Nora has a friend, Erica, a psychiatrist who has known Joel for a very long time. It's Joel's birthday, so they give him a birthday party, and still he is acting very strangely. He threatens to light his girlfriend's hair on fire from the candles on a birthday cake, and then he starts insulting the housekeeper, but he's insulting her in Spanish, which he has never spoken in his life and he's never studied. The morning after the birthday party, Nora goes out to see Sherry, Joel's girlfriend. What she discovers is Sherry's decapitated body, and the head has been tied by its long blonde hair to a nearby houseplant and is hanging directly over the body. While giving a statement to the police, Nora discovers that there was a string of very similar murders just in the few recent years. They were all committed, or so the police thought, by this fella named Tonio Perez, who has disappeared. Hoping to clear Joel's name, Nora decides to hunt down this Tonio Perez to prove that he killed Sherry and not Joel. What she discovers in Spanish Harlem, a part of town that she has never been to before and where she does not feel at all comfortable, is that Tonio Perez is dead. His father discovered that he was a serial killer and killed his son. A certain Don Pedro, who was wise in the mystical arts, suggests to Nora that the spirit of Tonio has possessed the body of Joel. Desperate to do anything to help her brother, Nora agrees to an exorcism. Now, this is an exorcism at a distance. Joel is not there, but Nora is. It is a very intense ceremony. She nearly collapses from the effort, but Don Pedro declares the exorcism a failure because Nora does not believe. No matter how hard she tries to believe, she just can't. She's not a part of this world. Meanwhile, Joel's behavior is escalating. Frightened for the safety of her two children, Nora decides that they must leave town, and they drive out to Long Island and their summer home, which has been boarded up for the winter. They think that they're safe, but the morning after they arrive, Nora goes into the kitchen and discovers on a shelf the decapitated head of Erica, the psychiatrist. Joel has followed them. Joel has found them, and he is now behaving like a full-on homicidal maniac. Brandishing the switchblade, he threatens them, he tortures them, he humiliates them, he beats them. He forces the boy to take off his clothes and dance on a table. He forces the girl to eat dog food. He beats Nora. Unexpectedly, the police arrive, having found the decapitated body of Erica. The children see their chance and they make a run for it. Joel is right behind them. The police take their shot and Joel falls to the sand. Nora, distraught, runs to him and he dies in her arms. At the moment he dies, something changes in Nora. A strange expression comes on her face. She picks up the switchblade. Freeze frame, end of movie. These two movies, The Exorcist and The Possession of Joel Delaney, have some striking similarities, despite the fact that their impact is so completely different. The way these two characters talk to their servants.
Here's your coffee, Mrs. Benson.
Oh, don't put it down there, Veronica. Bring it over here.
Yes, I go now.
Well, don't go now, Carlos. Doors aren't open yet.
The children are around the same age. Both characters have scenes where they confront an unexpected and gruesome death. Both have scenes that take place in a mental ward. Both have scenes at a rich people's party. And in both cases, the red-headed character wears a new curly hairstyle that she does not wear anyplace else in the movie. In both of these movies, the main character has a scene where she is confronted by the police who are investigating a murder, which may or may not have been committed by the main character's loved one. The Possession of Joel Delaney was a huge flop. It was about as big a flop as The Exorcist was a hit, and that's why nobody remembers it today. But that's not why we're here to talk about it today. When people talk about The Possession of Joel Delaney today, there's only one thing that comes up, and that is the filming of that final scene, because the director, Waris Hussein, went about as far as he could to make that torture scene real. David Elliott plays the boy, Peter. Nobody told David Elliott that he was going to be required to take off his clothes and dance naked in front of the whole cast and the entire crew, and he was about 12 at the time. The switchblade was a real switchblade, and they did nothing adequate to make it safe for a film set. In order to get him to cry, and if you watch the scene, he's crying very realistically, they told him that his dog had died, which brings up shades of Jackie Cooper, in Skippy. They got away with all this because they filmed way out on Long Island, on Fire Island, and David Elliott's Guardians were not there. It was just a very small group went out to that beach house. It's the kind of stuff that now would get everybody arrested and canceled. Now, in my video about Shelley Duvall making The Shining, I speculate rather irresponsibly about what she might have conjured in her effort to make the scenes real. Well, now I have to ask the same question about the possession of Joel Delaney. The whole idea is that Perry King's character, Joel Delaney, is being possessed by the spirit of a sadistic serial killer. But in the movie, Tonio Perez's mother says that Tonio was, as a boy, a great kid, a sweet and gentle, fun-loving, normal guy. So they don't come right out and say it, but they don't have to. The implication is clear. Whatever is evil inside Tonio is not Tonio. He was possessed, and then whatever this thing was moved on to Joel, and there at the end, in the final shot of Shirley MacLaine, we see that it has moved on to Nora. Now, this is all fiction, and at quite a remove because, first there's the book, The Possession of Joel Delaney, and then there's the movie. Somehow, the torture, the made-up fictional torture, became real on that set. And so it certainly seems like there really was an evil spirit influencing otherwise normal people to do every evil thing that the evil spirit wanted them to do. Interestingly, in The Possession of Joel Delaney, Shirley MacLaine's character has a very handsome younger brother, and Shirley MacLaine has a very handsome younger brother, Warren Beatty. And don't forget, Shirley MacLaine is famous for her many nonfiction bestsellers detailing all of her beliefs about whatever it is that's going on the other side. It's almost like Shirley MacLaine is some kind of conduit. She's very open.
Truthful Parson Brown, living in a southern